But first, hello, I'm John Bachman. Tensions in New York after the shooting deaths of two police officers over the weekend. Cops who feel they've been betrayed by Mayor Bill de Blasio turned their backs on him when he went to the hospital where officers Rafael Ramos and Wei Jin-Liu died. Police Commissioner Bill Bratton was asked this morning if the mayor has lost the trust of his police force.
I think he has lost it with some officers. I was at the hospital when that event occurred.
Do you support those officers in the way they protested?
I don't support that particular activity. I don't think it was appropriate, particularly in that setting.
Well, former Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik, right here on Newsmax TV today, says the mayor needs to send a strong message to those officers now.
Tell the people of New York City that they don't have to fear the New York City police officers, that New York City police officers are not racist.
Well, the killer, Ishmael Brinsley, apparently shot and wounded his ex-girlfriend in Baltimore before traveling to New York and killing the officers. The aftermath was captured on a cell phone video. You can see it right here. The first EMTs on the scene say one of the officers could barely tell him his name before he eventually passed out. Brinsley committed suicide a short time later. He had posted threats against the police online after the deaths of Michael Brown and Eric Gardner. The NYPD says there have been also a dozen threats of copycat attacks. And just days before Christmas, the Pope is slamming the Vatican's bureaucracy. In a critique today, he's denounced what he calls a lust for power among some at the Vatican. He says members of the clergy suffer from, in his words, spiritual Alzheimer's, which makes them forget they're supposed to be men of God. And prosecutors in France now say there is no terror link to the attack in Dijon that left 13 people hurt. The French Interior Minister visited some of those victims today after they were hit by a car driven by a 40-year-old man shouting words in Arabic. Prosecutors say he has a long history of mental illness and has been hospitalized over 100 times. And new threats today from North Korea after it was linked to the hack attack of the movie The Interview. North Korea now says it's ready to launch even more cyber attacks. This comes as Sony Pictures says it's looking at ways to release The Interview about a plot to kill leader Kim Jong-un, possibly even making it free online. And this is what reality TV looks like in Iraq. Convicted terrorists facing their victims. The show is called In the Grip of the Law. It's produced by state-run TV. In a recent episode, a 21-year-old convicted in a string of Baghdad car bombings for ISIS has been forced to face the family members of his victims. Sounds incredibly powerful. And Santa, to rescue the Down Under, a group of Australian firefighters were handing out candy to local kids when they smelled smoke coming from a nearby house. They raced over, including a firefighter dressed as Saint Nick. They put out the fire and rescued an unconscious man inside. Congrats, Sam. Another Newsmax Now update coming up for you in 30 minutes. I'm John Bachman. Now back to Midpoint with Ed Berliner.